Hello and welcome. In this lecture, we're going to be looking at how we can add dynamic text into our log messages using strings in C++. So let's dive in and learn about strings in C++. So we've seen how to print out some simple things from our UE log, but what if we wanted to print out some more text, something like the actor name, for example, or even something more complicated, such as a textual representation of a vector? Well, that does not typically have format specifiers because format specifiers have come to us from the age of C, which is a very basic programming language in comparison to C++, and so certain things just weren't thought up at the time. So things like vectors would not be included in the way that we format and specify them, so we tend to use strings to do this. And as we've said in the past, strings are just text variables. They are variables that contain text. So we can declare strings in C++. We've used f vectors where we used vectors previously. Here we're going to use FString as the type for a string. So we can have a string, and I'm just going to put in my string as the variable name for now. And how do we set a string value? Well, we've seen it a little bit around here already. These double quotes are what denote a string value in C++. So all of these expressions here, that one here where we've got the double quotes, also over in the header file where we've got the double quotes for the category, that is a string expression. So what we can do is set the myString variable from this, and I'm going to say myString value just to give us an idea of that and put a semicolon at the end of the line. And then how can we show this in a log statement? So I'm just going to remove the move distance from here as an argument to the UE log, and I'm going to change the text in the log message to say, here's my string, colon, and then instead of the F specifier, we use %s this time to denote the string that we want to print out. And then the argument we pass into the UE log function, again, between these two brackets, is going to be my string. Now, unfortunately, that would be great if that just worked by itself, but unfortunately, there's a little bit of a complication here in Unreal that it won't accept a straightforward string as an argument to the UE log. It needs a little bit of a converting operator here. And the way we do this is by putting an asterisk in front of the myString, and it just converts it from an FString into the format that it's looking for internally within the UE log. We don't have to go into too much detail as to why it's doing this. It's beyond the level that we need to know at this point in time. I think it's just important to learn it as it is, that when we do a %s, we always need a star in front of our F strings. So let's see if that's worked by going over into Unreal and hitting the compile button. And then we're going to close down live coding, hit play, open up the output log. And here you go. Here's my string value. So it's printing out the value in the myString. But obviously this piece of code that I've just written is not particularly useful because, well, I could have just written this string into here. Why bother with this whole substitution business? Well, where this gets more interesting is where we put a dynamic value into this variable instead. So we could do get name and call that. That is a function here available in the moving platform actor that gets the name of the actor that we see in the level outliner. We can put it into the variable. I'm going to call that variable name instead of my string and change its name down here in the UE log as well. So then we can change the text of the log message to say begin, play, colon, and then it's going to be the name of the actor. So let's go back into Unreal, stop play, hit compile, go ahead and hit play and open up the output log, and you can see we get the messages begin play moving platform 1, begin play moving platform 3, pushing cube 3, pushing cube 5, pushing cube 7. So we've got begin play and all the names of the different actors. Now this can be very useful because later on down the line where we're printing out our overshoot distance, it's not always clear who is overshooting in this case because they're all getting messed up together. So being able to print out the name of the actor that is producing the log message can be really helpful in pinpointing where a problem is happening. So I'd like to challenge you to log the name with that overshoot log so that we're going to see who has overshot and by how much. So you're going to add a variable for the name of the actor to tick, like we did in begin play. You're going to get name into it, and you're going to add a %s specifier somewhere, anywhere you like, into your log message where we're printing that overshoot. And you're going to add an argument for that name. We still want the overshoot variable in the list of arguments, but after or before that one, you're going to have to put the argument for the name as well. And it's important here that the order of the arguments matches the order of the specifiers in your message. So if you put %s before %f, then that's the order the name should go, before the overshoot. Or you should do it the other way around if you've done the other. And don't forget to add the star before your variable name to convert the string into something that the log, UE log, can use. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, welcome back. So we're going to start off by getting a variable, and this isn't strictly necessary, but we are going to use the variable just for simplicity's sake and keeping that line a bit shorter. So we're going to have an FString called name, using uppercase letters usually to start our variable names. We're going to do a get name into that variable, and then we're going to use it as an argument. But where am I going to put my format specifier in the log message? Well, I'm going to put it as the first thing in my log message to kind of make it clear that this is a log message coming from this thing. So I'm going to put %s first, and that means that my argument needs to go before the overshoot argument. So we're going to get their name, put it in here, and we need to put an asterisk in front of the name in order to convert it appropriately. Now let's go back into the editor, stop playing, hit recompile, close the terminal, hit play, and open the output log. And you can see that we're starting to get our tick messages coming through. Got pushing cube, overshot by 1, pushing cube, 1, 1. So you can see here, you can make a conclusion that we couldn't make before, which is that the faster moving platforms, the pushing cubes, are the ones overshooting by more, whereas the moving platforms seem to be overshooting by less, which is what I would expect, but it's good to see it confirmed here in the logs. Great stuff. So that's it for our little logging diversion. Hopefully you found this interesting, and I will see you in the next lecture.